Mr. Sandila Memela. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, members of the media, the general public watching, and South African community at large. I'm greatly humbled and indebted to the members of the media in heeding to the call to be present this afternoon for this media briefing. Particularly taking into account that the media briefing was called at extremely short notice. We are sincerely humbled. I wish to announce this afternoon that Mr. Jonas Makwakwa has resigned this morning from his employment with the South African Revenue Service as the Chief Officer, Business and Individual Taxes, what we call BAIT. Mr. Makwakwa's resignation is effective immediately as of the 14th of March 2018 at 1100 hours. I would like to briefly explain the chronological sequence of events that has led to Mr. Makwakwa's resignation. Before I do that, it will be prudent for me to state it that in his letter of resignation, Mr. Makwakwa has indicated that he is resigning for personal reasons. He regards this as being an opportune moment for him to exit SARS after being cleared of all the allegations of misconduct through a formal disciplinary hearing, and after making the investigation report into allegations of impropriety against him and his personal tax information available to Parliament for scrutiny and for public accountability. I shall deal with the aspects of the investigation and the parliamentary process later in this statement. Mr. Makwakwa has served SARS for the past 22 years. As a result, I would like to thank him for his loyal service and wish him well for all his future endeavors. I now wish to deal with the chronological sequence of Mr. Makwakwa's resignation. Allegations emerged of impropriety against Mr. Makwakwa by the Financial Intelligence Center, and there were subsequent investigations and outcomes. The current stage of the criminal investigation by the Directorate of Priority Crime Investigation, commonly known as the DPCI, under the DPCI Inquiry 3/06/2016 against Mr. Makwakwa in respect of allegations of corruption, money laundering, and racketeering. And of course, the recent allegations of impropriety against Mr. Makwakwa in respect of the selection and appointment of the new Integrated Credit Solution, a debt collection agency. Allow me then, members of the media and the society at large, to deal with allegations of impropriety against Mr. Makwakwa by the Financial Intelligence Center and subsequent investigations and outcomes. The FIC submitted the investigation report and was received by myself at SARS during the course of May 9, 2016. Upon receipt of the report, I engaged with the FIC with regard to the need of the FIC and SARS to cooperate with each other in respect of an investigation into allegations of corruption, money laundering, and possible violation of tax statutes against Mr. Makwakwa. The FIC submitted the report to the Hawks, and the Hawks had commenced with its criminal investigation under the DPCI Inquiries 3/06/2016. This criminal investigation is ongoing, and SARS is fully cooperating with the investigation. With regard to the FIC, it must be noted that SARS did not receive then the much-needed assistance, and this process took longer than anticipated. With hindsight, the differences between the FIC and SARS on this matter should have been able to be resolved speedily. As a result of the lack of assistance then, during September 2016, SARS proceeded to suspend Mr. Makwakwa on the basis of the allegations contained in the FIC report. During October 2016, SARS appointed Hogan Lovells to conduct an investigation into allegations of impropriety against Mr. Makwakwa. Hogan Lovells were also instructed to appoint PricewaterhouseCoopers to assist with the investigation and in particular with regard to an analysis and full audit of evidence of Mr. Makwakwa's financial affairs. Hogan Lovells, together with PwC, finalized the investigation and submitted a report to the SARS around May 2017. In the main, the investigation report recommended that disciplinary proceedings be instituted against Mr. Makwakwa, and in particular with regard to his failure to make the required declarations in accordance with the SARS ethics policy, and possible contravention of the Public Finance Management Act 1 of 1999. Further, the investigation report recommended that the aspects of the investigation pertaining to money laundering and corruption be fully investigated by the DPCI as an authorized authority with the necessary capability. It is a matter of public knowledge that Mr. Makwakwa was cleared of all the charges at the disciplinary proceedings chaired by Advocate Terry Mutau SC. The investigation to corruption and money laundering is ongoing, and that SARS is cooperating with the DPCI. Together with SARS, a decision has been made to make Mr. Makwakwa's tax records available to Parliament under conditions agreed between SARS and the Standing Committee on Finance. Mr. Makwakwa's tax records will be submitted together with the investigation report by Hogan Lovells and incorporating the report by the PwC. The said report will be submitted on or before the 16th of March 2018. As mentioned, this criminal investigation is ongoing and SARS is fully cooperating with the Hawks. Let me then deal with the recent allegations of impropriety against Mr. Makwakwa in respect to the selection and appointment of new integrated credit solution, NICS. As I understand the allegations, on the 13th and the 14th of this month, of March 2018, the media widely reported that Mr. Makwakwa irregularly participated in the tender adjudication and appointment of NICS by SARS. Notwithstanding the ongoing criminal investigation by the DPCI into allegations of corruption and money laundering involving Mr. Makwakwa and NICS together with other entities in respect of payment of over 400,000 paid to Mr. Makwakwa, these allegations are currently being investigated by the Hawks on the basis of the FIC report dated May 2016. As I understand the allegations, Mr. Makwakwa was conflicted and he failed to declare a potential conflict of interest, acted dishonestly, failed to act fairly, and failed to recuse himself from the adjudication as the circumstances duly required. I formally put this matter before Mr. Makwakwa with the intention to suspend him in respect of the said allegations pending an investigation. At this point, he denied the allegations and indicated to me that he had already decided to resign. Human Resources also received the letter to this effect. Due to the resignation being effective immediately, it serves no purpose to proceed with the matter from an employment relations perspective. However, an investigation will proceed to probe the allegations of irregularity surrounding the appointment of NICS. This matter will also be referred to the DPCI for criminal investigation. Furthermore, the SARS is currently preparing a letter to NICS to give cause why the bid should not be suspended pending an investigation. In this regard, SARS reserved its legal rights in law, including institutional legal proceedings, to terminate the relationship between SARS and NICS. In conclusion, as a commissioner, I would be negligent if I did not admit that the incidents surrounding the issues on Mr. Makwakwa have taught us a valuable lesson. I'm sure there are areas that we could improve, and I would have handled the matter differently and better. I want to thank you all, members of the media, and it's about time that we take questions from yourselves. In the process, I'll be assisted by Mr. Luther Libelo, Mr. Rufila Mukwena, Mr. Mtebuho Mukwena, and Johnston Makubi in answering your questions. Thank you very much.